So who I'm going to focus on this week is David Wright from the Mets. So I'm going to look at his seasons from 2005 through 2014, probably his prime seasons there. He did play, I think, in a total maybe of 18 seasons. I don't know how many years. But, being from New York, obviously everybody always compares Derek Jeter and David Wright. They were the faces of New York at the time. And not to throw salt in the wound, but the only real difference between them was that David Wright didn't win World Series and Derek Jeter did. So, but man, David Wright was the captain of the Mets. I really enjoyed watching him. A lot of my family are Mets fans. Obviously, Liam is a Mets fan. So, we grew up kind of going back and forth at each other like that for a little while too. But yeah, so over these 10 seasons, David Wright averaged 144 games played. So, what does that average? Maybe NIL stints each season, let's say. But when he did play during those 10 seasons, he averaged a 297 batting average, 22 homers, 90 RBIs, and an 866 OPS. He also averaged 19 stolen bases. So I think a lot of people forget that David Wright was actually a pretty fast player. He got some stolen bases. I know his legs kind of didn't really follow him at the end of his career, but he was solid, man. For a third baseman to hit 300 consistently like that over 10 seasons, we don't really see that anymore. Maybe you see it from other positions, but third base, maybe you see it from like Nolan Arenado, guys like that, but not very often. So I think that was pretty interesting. 22 homers, 90 RBIs. Would you like the RBIs to maybe be above 100? Sure, but 866 OPS is all-star worthy numbers. Like I going with all-star right now. But let's say all-star for a full season. I'll give it that. Yeah, and then during the playoffs, David Wright only played in 24 playoff games with the Mets. Some of them were in 2006, which might have been his rookie season, or no, 2004 was his rookie season, I think. So 2006, and then most of them were in 2015 when he did bring the Mets to the World Series. They ended up losing to the Royals, but he had an average right around 200 in the playoffs, 2 homers, 13 RBIs. He had a 630 OPS, so he wasn't great in the playoffs, but he did have those homers. I remember one of them very vividly was against the Royals at Citi Field, and the crowd went nuts. I believe that was in the first inning. Really memorable. And, over these 10 seasons, David Wright was a two-time Silver Slugger, two-time Gold Glove winner. He was an All-Star 7 times. If you really want to use that, I'll use it partly here. And he finished in the top 25 MVP 6 times. Again, 25, that's a lot of people. But if you look more deeper into the numbers, he finished 4th in the MVP voting in 2007. He finished 6th in 2012, and he finished 7th in 2008. So when you're closer to that 25 number, that's not a lot. Not very good. It's better than not being in the conversation at all. But when he was in 4th in 2007, he had a really good season. I remember in 2012, he had a great year, and 2008 also. So, yeah, I think a lot of people forget how good David Wright actually was. He was a speedster out there for a little while. Third baseman don't usually get that many stolen bases nowadays either. And again, David Wright was a great person on and off the field. I remember watching him plenty of times on TV. I've been to a lot of Mets games myself. So he got what he wanted. He didn't get the World Series, but he got him there one year. And you could tell how much passion and how much leadership he gave to the team that during that season, that stretch run in 2015. So yeah, everyone look back at the career of David Wright. Look at his stats. He was a really great player. Look at some old video of him because he was probably one of the best Mets of all time.